Let me let y'all know how I feel. To me, it's like everybody's scared of the government, you know what I'm saying? Because they killed Tupac and they killed Biggie Smalls. I don't care what y'all say. That's my seeing. Who cares? I'm just letting y'all know, y'all could be afraid of the government all y'all want to. Y'all been afraid of the government for 29 years. Y'all ain't telling me I was Jesus, so it's okay. I love you. Don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm just letting y'all know all that afraid of the government stuff, you know what I'm saying? That's dead in my life, man, because I got special things to put on people.
Yeah, you got two special cuts on the album. You got 47 cuts. A special cut on the album. CIA killed me. Special cut on the album. What's the special cut? You got two. Oh yeah, you got two special cuts on the album. You got 47 cuts.
Hip-hop history is littered with colorful figures. Not one was unpredictable, unfiltered, and impossible to control as Old Dirty Bastard. As a founding member of the Wu-Tang Clan, Dirty represented pure chaos, spiritual eccentricity, and street-level honesty that didn't fit neatly into any system. After his sudden death in 2004, grief quickly mixed with suspicion. Over time, that suspicion hardened into one of hip-hop's most disturbing conspiracy theories: that ODB didn't just die, he was silenced. Old Dirty Bastard, born Tyrone Russell Jones, lived his life publicly on the edge. He was known for wild behavior, legal troubles, and moments that felt completely unfiltered by industry polish. Unlike many artists, he didn't clean up his image as fame grew. That refusal to conform is central to why some fans believe his death wasn't accidental. Before diving into the conspiracy, it's important to understand who ODB was culturally. He wasn't just a rapper, he was an anomaly. His lyrics blended street wisdom, humor, spiritual references, and madness in a way that felt raw and unscripted. His voice was crazy, his rhyme pattern was unheard of. He openly criticized systems, rejected authority, and moved without fear of consequences. ODB also had a complicated relationship with fame and institutions. He clashed with the legal system, repeatedly struggled with substance abuse, and resisted attempts to manage himself. In conspiracy circles, this paints him as a liability, someone too loud, too erratic, and too uncontrollable. For believers, that makes him a target. Asan died on November 13, 2004, after collapsing at a recording studio in New York. The official cause of death was ruled a drug overdose, of course, with toxicology reports citing a combination of substances, of course. On paper, the case was closed quickly, but for fans who loved ODB, the explanation felt incomplete. Almost immediately, questions started forming. ODB had just been released from prison months earlier and was reportedly working on a comeback. He was reconnecting with the Wu-Tang, recording new music, and seemed creatively energized. To some fans, his death felt poorly timed, right when he was regaining momentum. The theory that the CIA killed ODB didn't emerge overnight. It grew slowly through conversations about government surveillance, COINTELPRO, and historical examples of black activists and artists being monitored. Fans began placing ODB into a larger narrative of dangerous voices being neutralized. His unpredictability made him seem like someone institutions couldn't control. Believers point to his outspoken nature as a key factor. He openly mocked authority, disregarded rules, and embarrassed powerful systems publicly. From award shows to courtrooms, he refused to play along. In conspiracy logic, this behavior made him a threat, not politically organized but symbolically powerful. Another element of the theory centers on Wu-Tang Clan's influence. Wu-Tang was not just a rap group, they were a movement. They spoke openly about self-ownership, financial independence, and spiritual knowledge. Some conspiracy-minded fans believe ODB's chaotic honesty made him the most dangerous member because he couldn't be scripted or softened. The lack of any extensive public investigation fuels suspicion. Fans argue that the overdose explanation was accepted too easily. They question why there wasn't more transparency, more media scrutiny, or deeper inquiry. In conspiracy culture, quick conclusions are always suspect. Some versions of the theory suggest that ODB was intentionally supplied with lethal substances. Others claim he was under surveillance and allowed to self-destruct. These narratives often borrow from real historical examples where the government monitors artists, activists, and cultural leaders. The problem is that they rely on pattern matching, not evidence. It's important to state clearly that there is no proof that the CIA or any government agency was involved in ODB's death. No documents, whistleblowers, or credible sources support the claim. The theory exists entirely in speculation, symbolism, and mistrust of authority. However, the theory keeps going on because ODB's life already felt like a collision with systems of control. He struggled with addiction, incarceration, and exploitation. Fans who believe the conspiracy see his death not as an isolated tragedy, but as the final chapter in a long conflict with power. Another reason the theory sticks is the discomfort around overdose narratives. Fans sometimes reject them because they feel too simple for someone so iconic. Accepting addiction as the cause of any artist's death forces people to confront vulnerability instead of villainy. Conspiracies offer an external enemy instead of internal pain. ODB's family and close collaborators have never supported the CIA theory. They've consistently acknowledged his struggles and the reality of substance abuse. That perspective often gets ignored by conspiracy believers who prioritize symbolism over testimony. Grief can make myth feel more comforting than truth. Hip-hop culture has a long memory of exploitation and surveillance. From activists to musicians, there's historical precedent for mistrust. That context makes conspiracy feel plausible even when evidence is absent. ODB's story gets pulled into that legacy, whether it fits or not. The CIA theory also, of course, reflects how fans mythologize artists after death. ODB becomes more than human. He becomes a symbol. Symbols don't die from overdoses. They get taken out by villains. That framing keeps legends intact but distorts reality. In truth, his life was already shaped by forces far more personal than government plots. Addiction, trauma, fame, and lack of support played real roles. Those factors are harder to confront than shadowy agencies. Conspiracies often flourish where accountability is painful. That's one to grow on. What makes this theory compelling isn't its accuracy, it's what it reveals about distrust in systems. Fans don't believe institutions tell the truth, especially when black artists are involved, especially in this day and age. That skepticism is rooted in real history, even if this specific claim isn't it. ODB didn't need a conspiracy to make his story tragic or powerful. His life was already a cautionary tale about genius without protection. Reducing his death to a secret assassination risks ignoring real struggles he faced. Sometimes the truth is heavier than the myth. So no, there's no evidence that the CIA killed ODB, but the fact that people believe it says a lot about hip-hop's relationship with power, loss, and distrust. He wasn't silenced by an agency. He was lost to a system that didn't know how to protect him. And that reality, while less cinematic, might be the real mystery worth examining. Rest in peace, Asan. Positive energy activates constant elevation.